Hello guests, I'm the host and welcome to the Silent Lounge. I watched the newest gameplay trailer and demo for Resident Evil 9 Requiem, and I have to say, I am loving what I see. I have so much to say about the demo and gameplay trailer that a reaction video would not be able to do my thoughts justice. In this video, I will discuss my thoughts on the latest gameplay trailer and demo footage from the Gamescom event. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you enjoyed your stay at the Silent Lounge. The trailer opens with Grace sitting on a motel bed typing on her laptop. Her mother, Alyssa Ashcroft, appears in a red trench coat that is reminiscent of her old costume in Resident Evil Outbreak. The gameplay trailer takes place in the Wrenwood Hotel on the night Alyssa Ashcroft was murdered. The phone rings, and Grace answers the call.
Miss Ashcroft?
Yes.
The power cuts out, and both try to escape the hotel, but are confronted by the hotel owner. Then, a hooded man appears from behind the owner and slices his neck. The next scene shows Alyssa reassuring Grace that everything will be okay and that she needs to stay strong.
Grace, please know that you are my hope. Never forget that.
What are you talking about?
Just... I love you.
I love you too.
Okay.
Mom, I'm scared.
No. We need to find a way out of here now.
But we don't have any of our stuff.
We can come back for it later, Grace.
I love Alyssa's modern look / redesign. The red trench coat is a nod to her old costume, which was a red pantsuit. The darkness is something that I didn't think would amaze me, but somehow Capcom was able to perfect ambient darkness. The hotel corridors in the gameplay trailer look amazing. Some areas in the flashback sequence are cut, so we don't see what happens after their encounter with the hooded man, but we can assume that Alyssa used her gun on him or they ran away and a chase sequence started. Your guess is as good as mine. We don't see what kills Alyssa, and I like that to be kept a mystery until I play the game. We still don't know who the hooded man is, and I would also like that to remain a mystery. I have been seeing crazy theories that it's Leon Kennedy from Resident Evil 2, 4, and 6, or Nikolai from Resident Evil 3. It could honestly be an entirely new character that we haven't seen before, and this is their debut in the Resident Evil universe. Either way, I'm pumped to see how the story will unfold. The demo opens to Grace being strapped to a gurney, hanging upside down, getting her blood drawn as if she was a blood bag. I've seen clips here and there of the demo, and the gameplay looks terrifying. Again, the darkness is utilized perfectly in Resident Evil 9, and it feels like I'm watching someone's nightmare unfold. I used to have nightmares when I was a kid, and in those nightmares I would enter a room and the light switch would not work at all, and I would be trapped in the darkness. I'm getting the same kind of vibes here, although it's cranked up to 11 because there's a big monster stalking you. You can switch between first person and third person perspectives in the options menu. Each has its advantages and disadvantages. The first person perspective adds a layer of immersion and allows the player to notice clues and finer details. However, it does make the experience more terrifying. Third-person perspective allows the character to be viewable over their shoulder, making it easy to navigate through the dark. However, when you're being chased, Grace sometimes stumbles on objects that are on the floor because she is panicking. I love this gameplay mechanic because it adds more replayability and adds a new layer of complexity between POVs. It's not just added for the sake of having it like in Resident Evil 8. Instead, there's an actual use for each perspective, and it changes the gameplay and experience drastically. Let's talk about the monster design. The stalker enemy looks like Lisa Trevor on steroids, and it's absolutely terrifying. I know for a fact that she is going to scare the shit out of me when I'm playing. I miss feeling vulnerable in the sense that there is nothing I can do to defend myself against this monster. Resident Evil 7 and Alien Isolation had those levels in which you couldn't do anything to defend yourself against the stalker enemy, and those games delivered the most stressful gameplay moments to date. I'm so happy that we have a save room that explains why the stalker enemy can't get you from inside. Resident Evil 2 is a fantastic survival horror experience, and the one thing that takes away from the horror is Mr. X not being able to get you from the save room. There is no reason why he can't fit inside, but for some reason, there is some unspoken rule that he can't get you from inside the safe room. In Resident Evil 9, the monster can't get you because its flesh burns under white, bright lights, which is what illuminates the save room. I love that detail, and I'm so glad they are paying attention to small things like that and are implementing them in the game. When the monster enters the light, one thing I noticed is that the sound that the monster makes sounds like Lisa Trevor screaming in Resident Evil 1 Remake. In my previous video, I stated that the missile used to destroy Raccoon City was a nuclear missile. According to the lore, it is not a nuclear missile. It is an experimental thermobaric missile used to sterilize Raccoon City, meaning it wiped out all life without the use of radiation. Initially, I assumed it was a nuclear missile due to the mushroom cloud and the white flash shown at the end of Resident Evil 3 and its remake. I am relieved because I thought Resident Evil 9 was going to try to be like Fallout and make it so that you can't explore the city without a radiation suit. I am not a nuclear physicist or a scientist, but it can take decades for radioactive fallout to disperse, and I'm glad we don't have to worry about that for Resident Evil 9. I want to thank my comment section for correcting me on this mistake. I don't want to spread misinformation on the channel, and I apologize for not being factual or knowledgeable about the lore. Honestly, I am not good at retaining pieces of lore. Usually I focus on the cutscenes rather than trying to find every piece of information in a file or document, but now that I'm focusing more on covering the lore and analyzing different aspects of survival horror, I will do more research in the future. I have been reading the Reddit posts on Resident Evil 9, and the theories that people come up with are actually pretty interesting. Let's start with the biggest theory I've seen and heard from Reddit and my comment section. Alyssa Ashcroft is the huge, terrifying monster that stalks and hunts Grace in the demo. If this is true, I am unsure how to feel about it. Look, I have seen my fair share of predictable plot twists in my time, especially with the westernized Silent Hill games. Silent Hill Homecoming. Having a predictable plot twist is not what makes or breaks a story. It is the execution that matters. Silent Hill Homecoming had a predictable plot twist because it wasn't as well executed as Silent Hill 2. The setup for the plot twist in Silent Hill Homecoming was evident in the first level of the game. The player already knew Alex was hallucinating Joss by the way he was acting, so the question is, how did Alex end up in this situation? What we got was a long, tedious, and frustrating slog that had no payoff, and by the time the plot twist was revealed, nobody cared because the game was so disappointing and boring. Silent Hill 2 had a stronger plot twist because it was subtle. It didn't tell the player what was going on in a document or through voice lines. There were enough subtle details and clues sprinkled throughout the entirety of Silent Hill 2, yet many people, myself included, missed it. Upon replaying Silent Hill 2, you realize that the game was telling you the plot twist the entire time through environmental details, character motives, puzzles, and creature designs. Resident Evil 9 can pull off a predictable plot twist with excellent execution if it knows how to tell a story in which the players will have to draw their own conclusions and ideas as to what happened. How did Alyssa get there? Who did this to her? Why did they do this to her? These are essential questions that should not be answered directly but subtly. What worries me is that Resident Evil is not known for having complex storytelling. It is more known for being a B-movie action horror. I guess we will see. I have seen some theories that speculate the monster to be Lisa Trevor from the Resident Evil 1 remake. For those of you who don't know, Lisa Trevor was the daughter of George Trevor, who designed and created the Spencer Mansion in RE1. There is a heartbreaking story behind Lisa Trevor that I will not go into in this video, but know that Lisa Trevor was experimented on and turned into a monster that has regenerative abilities. The last Resident Evil game that she was in was in Resident Evil The Umbrella Chronicles, where Wesker escapes the Spencer Mansion before it explodes. We have not seen the character since, and she has been presumed dead after the mansion explosion. The monster in Resident Evil 9 has shackles and chains like the ones Lisa Trevor had in RE1 Remake. Even when the beast screams, it sounds precisely... Even when the monster screams, it sounds precisely like Lisa Trevor's scream from the RE1 Remake. I don't believe the monster is Lisa Trevor because her arc was concluded in the RE1 Remake. Bringing her back as a more mutated version of herself would diminish the character and impact she had in the Resident Evil 1 remake. She would be over 70 years old if she was in Resident Evil 9, and I can't imagine what her purpose would be other than to be a big scary monster. Hopefully the monster isn't Lisa Trevor. If it is, I would like to have a good reason as to why she is back after 30 years. I have heard rumors that this might be the very last Resident Evil game concluding the franchise after 30 years. As much as I don't want that to be true, I think Resident Evil 9 Requiem will be a great send-off for the franchise. Like I said in previous videos, the franchise would not be able to go back to its horror roots because OG characters have been developed into action heroes. Grace is a legacy character to Alyssa Ashcroft from Resident Evil Outbreak, and it's honestly refreshing that we're having a new character that has no combat experience or experience with mutated bioweapons. What I loved about Resident Evil 7 is how Ethan Winters is an average everyday man who is sucked into an almost supernatural and horrifying situation. The gameplay evolved from a third-person fixed camera angle to a selectable POV between first and third person. Where else can this franchise go? Is this the end of Resident Evil? Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a like and subscribe if you enjoyed your stay at the Silent Lounge.